This 27 inches gaming monitor will impair you a sensible £249 in the UK and €279 in Europe, and for that mid-range cash you get a bend, a strong refresh rate and some smooth design. It isn't accessible in the US at present. It's the stablemate of Huawei's bigger 34-in widescreen model. My number one reasonable gaming show right presently is the Dell S2721HGF. It's another 27 inches board with an inconspicuous bend, design and features: a gorgeous, durable outside, a 2560x1440 goal and 1500R bend, underwhelming OSD and barely any extra features. Huawei's past displays have looked magnificent, and that stays the case with this more reasonable model. This more modest MateView sits on top of a smooth, wide and rich metal base, and the board is connected to a round and hollow stand that proceeds with the upscale subject. It absolutely looks more adult than the rakish, plastic Dell. The Huawei MateView GT 27 is more grounded than the Dell, as well, because of powerful design and the utilization of more metal all through. It's not difficult to construct thanks to an instrument-free component that connects the stand to the rear of the board, and its 7.8 kilograms weight implies that it's just a kilo heavier than its opponent. There's a lot to like about the MateView's particular as well. The 27 inches show has a 2560 by 1440 goal that conveys a thickness level of 109 ppi. That is a decent figure, sufficiently high to make games look fresh, however not so gigantic that it will pressure standard illustrations cards like the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060 Ti and AMD Radeon RX 6700 XT. Huawei's screen likewise has a 1500R bend. That joins well with the 27 inches, inclining to make games more vivid without compromising viewing points. Huawei's hidden showcase utilizes VA innovation with 8-cycle instead of 10-digit variety support. That is normal across reasonable gaming boards, and fine for gaming, since VA displays will generally show great differentiation. The absence of 10-digit tone won't be an issue for anybody, with the exception of creatives. The MateView likewise has a 165Hz refresh rate close by AMD FreeSync support, so you can profit from smooth movement with both AMD and NVIDIA designs cards. That is a mid-range figure that ought to make single-player games look smooth. It's sufficient for standard esports gaming as well, yet sharp serious gamers will require a 240Hz or 360Hz monitor. The Huawei's refresh rate sits close by a reaction season of 4ms, one more strong figure for standard use, yet that will not satiate the quickest esports players. It's a preferred particular over the more reasonable Dell. Both offer a 27 inches slanting, a 1500R bend and hidden VA equipment, yet the Dell's 1920 by 1080 goal isn't so fresh as the 1440p figure on the Huawei. Dell's board has a more fragile 144Hz refresh rate and the equivalent 4ms reaction time. Huawei's board offers smooth design and a decent standard detail. Then, at that point, yet it's somewhat more restricted somewhere else. The MateView accompanies 110mm of level change, 25 levels of slant and backing for 100mm VESA mounting, yet you don't get turn development, and it doesn't uphold use in picture mode. The monitor has a solitary DisplayPort 1.2 and HDMI 2.0 data sources, and it's fueled by USB-C, however. That is all there is to it. For additional features, you don't get USB ports or speakers. The on-screen show isn't splendid. Possibly, it's quick however essential, and the choice to enact FreeSync is superfluously stowed away. That is one region where the Dell is better. It probably won't have USB ports or speakers, yet it has a more instinctive on-screen show. Picture quality, great differentiation and sRGB variety, precision and reproduction. Insufficient splendor or artfulness to have an effect in HDR games. Quickly enough for standard games. Yet there's observable ghosting. Huawei's board utilizes its VA equipment to convey strong standard quality. Out of the case, the Huawei MateView GT 27 brilliance level of 188 nits is fine for indoor gaming, and its dark mark of 0.07 nits is awesome. It implies that more obscure regions show truly great degrees of profundity and subtlety. The subsequent difference proportion of 2686 to 1 is just moderate for a VA board, and underneath Huawei's expressed 4000 to 1 figure. However, it's as yet an extraordinary outcome in the more extensive market, and assists the board with conveying immense dynamic quality in all circumstances. The Huawei delivered a noteworthy 99.4% of the sRGB variety range, with a volume of 120.6%. That implies this show will produce each shade required by standard games, and that volume figure consolidates with the difference proportion to convey a lot of energy. The delta E of 2.61 is sensible, on the off chance that noticeably flawed. However, it's fine for standard gaming, and the variety temperature of 6581 Kelvin is perfect. These variety results all look good for ongoing interaction and imply that the Huawei renders tones with noteworthy punch. The Huawei exchanges blows with its adversary from Dell, be that as it may. The MateView offers somewhat better varieties because of more extensive sRGB range inclusion, yet the Dell displays insignificantly better differentiation. Nor are issues. However, it merits thinking about your needs. Do you have any real desire for a more extensive scope of varieties or punchier yield? Huawei's machine has more great consistency. Its backlight strays by under 10% in all areas, while the Dell's backlight strength declined by up to 21%. That makes the Huawei's symbolism more reliable. The MateView delivered 85.5% of the DCI-P3 range, which is sensible, yet it's beneath Huawei's asserted 90% figure. In keeping in mind that the presentation upholds HDR content, the mid-range DCI-P3 range inclusion and the absence of complex darkening actually intends that there's no genuine HDR benefit on this board. Likewise, the most extreme Splendid level of 411 nits is great, however not sufficiently high to have a huge effect. The MateView is just average with movement. While running at its default settings, the Huawei displays recognizable ghosting when brilliant articles move against hazier foundations. In the event that you utilize the screen's top overdrive mode, the circumstance improves, however the ghosting won't ever vanish. You'll not see the problem during single-player games and in standard esports titles. Yet to concentrate on serious gaming, you ought to search for a 240Hz or 360Hz screen with a superior reaction time. I'd constantly suggest that you utilize the MateView's most noteworthy overdrive settings, since that aligns the Huawei's ghosting execution with the Dell. Consolidate that with the Huawei's better refresh rate, and, in general, it implies that the MateView is somewhat ahead for speedy interactivity. The ghosting and mid-range movement execution isn't an unexpected on a reasonable 165Hz showcase. Huawei's board actually has the speed and perfection to deal with standard games, however, and somewhere else it conveys strong sRGB tones and consistency. Dell's presentation could offer somewhat better difference. However, the MateView's variety quality, higher refresh rate, and improved goal mean I lean toward the Huawei for gaming, notwithstanding the additional expense. Finally, thanks for watching this video. See you again next time.